Have you ever wondered how many people actually received a green card in the past year? And more than that, who actually received majority of the green card allocated every single year? A new report reveals some very interesting information. Hello everybody and welcome back to Immigration Channel. This is where we explain complex immigration matters in short, simple videos. We make immigration easy. And in this video, we'll dive into how many people actually received the green card in 2023, and more than that, where the majority of the green cards go to, who is receiving most of the employment-based green card, and who is receiving most of the family-based green cards. Some very interesting questions that a recent report from the Cato Institute just analyzed. And I'll go over this and give you some ideas and statistics which will help you also understand where you are in the immigration process, and based on your category, how fast and when you'll get your green card as well. But before we do that, if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show this video to more people just like you. As always, if you need help with your immigration matters, all you have to do is send me a text to 619-483-4549. And if you don't want to text, you can use a simple contact form at immigrationasap.com. Put your details in there, and one of our team members will contact you ASAP. Now let's jump into the video. So based on a recent report from the Cato Institute, family members accounted for over 55% of the people that receive green cards in the EB employment-based categories. And this is for all green cards issued in the entire fiscal year 2022 moving to 2023. So if you're, let's say, EB3 applicant, EB2, EB1, and you have a spouse or a child, 55% of those people receiving those green cards were dependents, which is very interesting to know. That means that only 45% of the green cards issued every year actually went to the applicants, the actual workers that are eligible for those green cards. Now, what's more interesting is that this kind of distribution of more green cards going to dependents than the actual workers has been persistent for the past several years. Now, despite the fact that Congress is capping EB employment-based green cards at only 140,000 of them, they issued over 270,000 green cards in 2022 alone. And what happened is that they've taken some of these green cards that were unused in other categories, including family immigration, and moved them to the employment base to give those green cards to dependents and workers that needed them at that year. As a result of this trend, expect over 60,000 green cards from the family-based categories to shift over to the employment-based in the end of 2023 now, moving to 2024. Remember guys, if there are any unused visas, for example, in family-based categories for whatever reason, because of retrogression or any other things like that, those visas that are unused are going to shift to the employment-based side and are going to be lost. That means more wait time for applicants in the family-based categories, unfortunately, as we move to the beginning of 2024. This is one of those predictions that we are understanding by looking at the statistics of this report. Now again, it doesn't make sense because if you think about it logically, the family-based categories and the employment-based categories should be parallel. They shouldn't be overlapping. And what's happening in the system in the moment is that it is. If we have unused visas for one category, they immediately flow to another category. I mean, the issue here is that family members, in this case, they are family members of the skilled workers, they draw green cards from the same pool as skilled workers do. And by doing that, we have less visas obviously to give to skilled workers. So they should create a separate pool obviously for family members to be able to enjoy and not take away from the skilled workers pool. Another option that Congress could do is exempt family members from the cap. So if you're a skilled worker and you're competing for 140,000 of these green cards per year, then if you have family members, your family members should be exempt from the cap. And by default, if you're getting the green card, they should be getting the green card as well. Congress must act on this provision alone, and by doing that, that's going to free up over double of the visas available for workers in EB categories, and of course, will still leave enough visas in the family-based categories to continue to process, and hopefully that will speed up processing of visas and allow people to get more interviews. Another solution they could do is that if you're inside the United States, you shouldn't be subject to the cap at all and be able to get your green card while you're here. Therefore, not taking away numbers of applicants who are currently abroad trying to get green cards to move to the United States. That could be a very good solution, which will save a lot of green cards and will help people immigrate faster. If you think about it, in 2022, 80% of immigrants who are applying for EB categories green cards were already inside the United States. Imagine if all these people were exempt from the cap. Exempting those workers from the visas categories would significantly increase numbers and will speed up visa processing. And this is something that Congress must act, and hopefully we'll see some movement in 2024. So that's kind of the situation right now with allocation of visas. But how many people are actually getting green cards in 2023? So last year, the United States admitted 306 green card recipients per 100,000 US citizens. And this is significantly lower than the peak of green card issuance in 1907, where there were 1,500 green card recipients per 100,000 citizens in the United States. You can see the shift that happened over the years. Just last year alone, the United States accepted over 1.2 million green card holders. And this is a 37% increase from the end of 2021 through 2022. As of early 2023, there are about 12.7 million green card holders living in the United States. Remember, since 1820, this immigration process gave green cards to over 88 million individuals. And currently, over 14% of the US population is foreign-born. Here's another interesting fact. Between 1986 and 2023, 44% of green card acceptances are new arrivals to the United States, which means a lot of these applicants were already residing in the United States and then became green card holders. And the top country that produces green card holders for the past 100 years is still Mexico. If you look back the last decade, over 10 million green card holders, or 14%, are from Mexico, followed by India at 7.2%, and then China 6.6%, Cuba at 4.6% immigrants in the past decade, and Dominican Republic at 4.6% of immigrants in the past decade. Bottom line is that we definitely see an increase in processing in the past year, but there are certain things that are hindering this process. I mentioned in the beginning, allocation of visas, the fact that there's a shortage in one category, and then we are moving for another category between the employment base and the family base. Congress really has to act in a very simple manner. Exempt family members from the cap, allow adjustment of status applicants to also be exempt from the cap, and this way speed up processing of visas at US embassies and consulates worldwide, allowing applicants to get their visas, and of course, hopefully eventually make a reform in the visa bulletin, because people waiting for their green cards for 5, 10, even 20 years is not humane and shouldn't be the American way. Once again, this is some information that might be helpful to you, and hopefully as we move to the next year, I'll be able to give you some more updates about visa processing, immigration updates, and also when to expect your interview with the upcoming fiscal year if you're waiting for a green card interview at the US Embassy or Consulate worldwide. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. Thanks for watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.